Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in American coin collecting history, the 1968 Lincoln penny. That's right, some people are saying this coin could be worth as much as $1.7 million. But is it really true? And if so, what makes it so special? Whether you're a coin collector, a history buff, or just someone who found an old penny in your change jar, you're going to want to watch this video until the end. Because we're going to break down the full story behind the 1968 Lincoln penny, its hidden value, its history, and what to look for if you think you might have a rare one in your pocket. Let's get started. The Lincoln cent has been an iconic part of American coinage since it was first introduced in 1909. It was created to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse side of the penny showed two wheat ears, which is why those early pennies are often called wheat cents or wheat pennies. In 1959, the design changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design stayed in use until 2008. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. A lot of people refer to the 1968 penny as a wheat penny, but technically, it is not a wheat penny. The wheat reverse ended in 1958. So the 1968 Lincoln penny actually features the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But despite that technical detail, collectors still sometimes include the 1968 coin when talking about the wheat series because it carries forward the legacy of the Lincoln design. More importantly, it has some surprising hidden value. In 1968, Lincoln pennies were struck at 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark Denver, with a D mint mark San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The San Francisco coins are especially interesting because in 1968 the mint was still producing proof coins, which are highly polished and made specifically for collectors. Some of these proof coins have become quite valuable, especially in high grades. So let's answer the big question. Why is the 1968 penny getting so much attention? How can something that most people think is worth just 1 cent be rumored to sell for over $1 million? There are 3 main reasons some 1968 pennies have become highly sought after. 1. Rare mint errors. 2. High-grade condition. 3. Misattributed or misunderstood internet claims. Let's break each one down. Rare mint errors. Some of the most valuable 1968 pennies have striking errors. These can include double die obverse errors, where the lettering or date appears to be doubled off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned. Die cracks or cuds, which occur when the die itself is damaged and causes raised lines or blobs on the coin clip planchets, where a portion of the coin appears to be missing. One of the most famous varieties is the 1968 S double die obverse. This error causes the date, the word liberty, and the motto "I in God we trust" to appear doubled. When graded in high condition, this error coin has sold for thousands of dollars. High-grade tennis. Even if your 1968 penny doesn't have an error, its condition can play a major role in its value. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 70 being a perfect mint-state coin. For example, a regular 1968 penny that looks like it just left the mint, bright red, no scratches, no wear, could be worth significantly more than face value. Coins graded as MS67 red or higher have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. And because very few coins survive in perfect condition, finding one in high grade can be a jackpot. Internet hype and the $1.70 million. Now, let's talk about the viral story that a 1968 Lincoln penny sold for $1.7 million. Is it true? As of today, there is no verified auction record of any 1968 penny selling for $1.7 million. The most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold are typically from the early 1909 to 1943 era, including the 1909 SVDB and the 1943 bronze cent. So where did the $1.7 million number come from? It's likely the result of social media hype or misleading posts that inflate the value for clicks and views. These headlines often include phrases like, "You might have this penny worth millions in your pocket," but they rarely provide the proof. That said, coins with extraordinary errors or unique features, especially if they are truly one-of-a-kind, can fetch insane prices in private sales. So while it's highly unlikely, it's not impossible that a truly unique 1968 penny could sell for an astronomical amount someday. But for now, the $1.7 million claim remains unconfirmed. Now you're probably wondering, should I check my pennies? And what exactly should I look for? Here's a simple checklist to help you. 1. Look at the date. Make sure it says 1968.2. Check for a mint mark. Is there a D, S, or no letter at all? 3. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling on the date or lettering. 4. Inspect the coin's surface. Is it bright red and scratch-free? 5. Weigh the coin. It should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything drastically different could be a clue to a planchet error. If you find something unusual or your coin appears flawless, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in grading could unlock a big return if the coin is rare or high grade. So, could your 1968 Lincoln penny be worth $1.7 million? Probably not. But that doesn't mean it's worthless. Some 1968 pennies are worth a lot more than 1 cent, especially if they have a rare error or are in pristine condition. And beyond the money, these coins are a piece of American history that connect us to generations of people who use them every day. Coin collecting is one of the most rewarding hobbies because every single coin has a story. And who knows, maybe your next amazing find is sitting in a jar right now, just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a rare coin alert. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever found a valuable penny or if you've got a 1968 Lincoln cent in your collection. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Would you like me to format this for a teleprompter, add visual direction cues for editing, or write a short version for TikTok or YouTube Shorts? Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and talked about modern coins in American numismatics, the 1971 Lincoln penny. There are rumors that one of these tiny copper coins sold for a staggering $1.5 million. But is it real? Is there a 1971 penny actually worth that kind of money? In this video, we're going to uncover the full history behind the 1971 Lincoln cent, explore what makes some of these coins valuable, and tell you exactly what to look for if you think you might have one of these rare gems in your collection. Stick around to the end, because what you learn today might just help you turn pocket change into a small fortune. Let's get into it. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909. It was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The design has seen several changes over the years, but Lincoln has remained on the obverse side of the penny ever since. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse of the coin featured 2 wheat stalks, which is why these early versions are commonly called wheat pennies. But in 1959, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat design with the Lincoln Memorial in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That memorial reverse stayed in use from 1959 until 2008, and the 1971 penny falls right in the middle of this era. Now let's take a closer look at the 1971 penny, its design, its production, and why it's catching the attention of collectors today. In 1971, Lincoln pennies were struck at 3 U.S. Mint locations. Philadelphia. These coins had no mint marked. Denver, marked with a D. San Francisco, marked with an S. The 1971 Lincoln penny is particularly interesting because San Francisco had a very specific role during that time. The San Francisco Mint was largely producing proof coins for collectors, which are special high-quality coins struck with polished dies and planchets. These coins are not made for general circulation. That means nearly all 1971 pennies were proof coins made especially for coin collectors, not for use in everyday transactions. These coins are beautifully detailed, often with a mirror-like finish and sharp designs. The mintage for the 1971 proof penny was around 3.2 million coins, not an extremely small number, but far lower than the billions made in Philadelphia and Denver for general US. How does a coin like that become worth more than $1 million? Let's dig deeper. Even though most 1971 pennies are only worth a couple of dollars in proof sets, there are rare exceptions that make this coin stand out in the world of numismatics. Here are the main reasons why some 1971 Lincoln cents are extremely valuable. 1. Proof errors. 2. Double die varieties. 3. High-grade condition. 4. Collector demand and market hype. Let's go through them one by one. Rare mint in a controlled proof environment. Errors can happen, and when they do, they can become highly collectible. Some known errors on 1971 proof pennies include off-center strikes, improperly polished planchets, die cracks, and cuds. Most famously, double die obverse errors. One of the most well-known and valuable types is the 1971 double die obverse. This variety shows clear doubling in the words "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1971. If you have this coin in high condition, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, one example, graded PF 65 by PCGS with a strong double die, sold for thousands at auction. High-grade PROFS. The value of a 1971 penny also goes way up if the coin is graded in extremely high condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and in the case of proof coins, grades like PF 68 or PF 69 are considered very high. A perfect grade of PF 70 is extremely rare because so many proof coins were handled and stored by collectors. Finding one that has absolutely no flaws, no haze, no scratches, no spotting is rare, and that's what pushes the price higher. There are some 1971 proof pennies that have sold for over $1,000 without errors, just because they were in near-perfect condition. Now let's talk about that viral story, the 1971 Lincoln penny that allegedly sold for $1.5 million. Is it true? Let's be clear. As of now, there is no public or official record of any 1971 Lincoln penny selling for $1.5 million, not at PCGS, not at heritage auctions, not through any known private collectors. The claim likely started from viral social media posts or clickbait articles designed to grab attention. But let's not dismiss it completely. In the coin world, one-of-a-kind errors or newly discovered varieties can sell for massive amounts of money, especially if they're unique and verified by top grading services. If a previously unknown 1971 Lincoln penny error were to surface, say, one struck on the wrong planchet, or with a dramatic double die unlike any seen before, and it were graded and authenticated, it could sell for an astronomical price. But again, as of now, that $1.5 million sale is unconfirmed. If you have a 1971 penny, here's what you should do to check if it's valuable. 1. Confirm that it has an S mint mark just below the date. 2. Check if it's a proof coin, mirror-like finish, very sharp details. 3. Use a magnifier to look for doubling in the lettering or date. 4. Examine the surfaces for signs of perfection, no spots, scratches, or cloudiness. 5. Weigh the coin. It should weigh around 3.11 grams. 6. If you suspect you have a rare error or a perfect grade coin, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Even if you don't have $1 million coin, your 1971 penny could still be worth far more than face value. So, is the 1971 Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million? Not exactly, at least not yet. But there are versions of this coin that are incredibly valuable due to rare mint errors and high-grade condition. Whether you're a new collector or just curious about the coins in your change jar, it's always worth taking a closer look. Because sometimes history, rarity, and condition combine to turn an ordinary-looking penny into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next rare coin video. And tell us in the comments, do you have a 1971 Lincoln penny in your collection? Have you ever found a valuable coin in your pocket? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you'd like a short version of this script for YouTube Shorts or TikTok, or if you want a formatted version with scene transitions and visuals. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a coin that most people overlook, the 1978 Lincoln penny. Now, before you say, it's just a penny, let me stop you right there. Because some collectors and online rumors are claiming that one of these seemingly ordinary pennies sold for as much as $1.4 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But there's more to this story than you might think. In this video, we're breaking down the full history of the 1978 Lincoln penny, what makes certain versions of it valuable, the truth behind that million-dollar claim, and how you can tell if your 1978 penny is worth more than just 1 cent. Grab your change jar, and let's get started. Section 1. The history behind the 1978 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has a rich history that starts way back in 1909. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and that person was none other than Abraham Lincoln. The design was created to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. For nearly 50 years, from 1909 to 1958, the Lincoln penny featured the iconic wheat ears on the back. That's why those older coins are called wheat pennies. But starting in 1959, the reverse was changed to the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. That design stayed on the penny until 2008. So, by the time we get to 1978, we're still looking at the same basic Lincoln Memorial design. But don't let that fool you. Even in a year without a dramatic design change, valuable coins can still exist. The 1978 penny was part of the Memorial series and was struck in huge numbers. But as we'll see, condition, mint mark, and errors all play a role in determining its value. Section 2 to 1978 penny basic facts and mint locations. Here are some basic facts about the 1978 Lincoln penny. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty on the left, and the date, 1978, on the right. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial with the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum above and 1 cent below, the 1978. Penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint marked Denver, marked with a small D San Francisco, marked with an S, but only for proof coins. More than 5.5 billion pennies were struck in Philadelphia, more than 4.2 billion were struck in Denver, around 3.1 million proof coins were struck in San Francisco. That's nearly 10 billion pennies in total. So yes, they're common. But here's the thing. Out of those billions, only a tiny fraction are in top condition or contain minting errors that make them valuable. And that's where the story starts to get interesting. Section 3. What makes the 1978 penny valuable? Let's talk about value. Because while most 1978 pennies are only worth face value, some have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And there are a few rumored cases, including one that went viral, where a single penny was said to have sold for over $1 million. So what makes a 1978 penny valuable? There are 3 main things to watch for. Number 1. Mint errors. Number 2. High-grade condition. Number 3. Rare or unusual features. Let's go through each one. Rare mint errors. One of the most exciting things in coin collecting is the hunt for mint errors. These are coins that left the mint with a flaw that somehow escaped quality control. For 1978 Lincoln cents, known mint errors include double die obverse, where the lettering, numbers, or parts of Lincoln's face are slightly doubled off center strikes, where the coin design is not perfectly centered clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is actually missing from the edge broad strikes, where the collar that shapes the edge fails, causing a smooth, stretched look, die cracks or die breaks, raised lines or blobs caused by a damaged die. Some of these errors can turn a 1-cent coin into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when paired with high-grade condition. High-grade coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded 60 or higher is considered mint state. The higher the number, the more perfect the coin. A 1978 penny graded MS 67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can be extremely valuable. In fact, a few examples of 1978 pennies in MS 67 red condition have sold for over $1,000 at auction. Why? Because out of the billions minted, only a handful survive in flawless condition. Tiny scratches, discoloration, or handling marks knock the grade down quickly. So finding a perfect coin is incredibly rare. Rare features and planchet errors. Occasionally, coins are struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. For example, a penny struck on a dime planchet or struck with the wrong metal composition. These are extremely rare but can happen when leftover blanks from other coins get mixed in at the mint. If a 1978 penny was struck on a wrong planchet or contains a composition error, say, made of the wrong metal, it could be a one-of-a-kind coin. And one-of-a-kind coins can command massive premiums from serious collectors. Section 4. The $1.40 million claim. Now, let's address the headline that's been floating around online. A 1978 penny sold for $1.4 million. Is it true? Here's the honest answer. As of today, there is no verified auction record confirming a 1978 Lincoln penny has sold for $1.4 million. Where does that number come from? Most likely, it originated from social media posts or clickbait articles that either misquoted information or exaggerated the story. Sometimes these posts use images of rare coins from other years and attach a wild number to get people to click and share. That said, coin collecting is full of surprises. If someone were to discover a brand new, never-before-seen error on a 1978 penny, especially something dramatic and verified by a top grading service, it could indeed sell for a large amount in a private sale. But for now, the $1.4 million claim should be taken as an unverified rumor, not a documented sale. Section 5. How to check your 1978 penny for value. So how do you know if your 1978 penny is worth something? Here's what to do. Look at the date. Make sure it's clearly 1978. Check for a mint mark. Is it from Denver, Philadelphia, or is it a proof from San Francisco? Inspect for errors, doubling, off-center designs, missing letters, weird shapes. Examine the condition. Is it shiny, red, and uncirculated looking? Weigh the coin. It should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything drastically different could mean a planchet error. If you think you have a valuable coin, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That way, you'll know exactly what you've got and what it's worth. Closing, final thoughts. So, is your 1978 Lincoln penny worth $1.4 million? Probably not. But don't be too quick to dismiss it either. Because with the right error, the right condition, or just plain old luck, your penny could be worth a lot more than 1 cent. And whether you're a collector or just curious, it's always fun to dig through your change. Who knows what kind of treasure might be hiding in plain sight? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next rare coin video. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable penny or if you're checking your 1978 coins right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Would you like help creating a YouTube short, TikTok version, or visual storyboard for this script? I can also add voiceover pacing or background music suggestions if you're planning a full production. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics, the 1979 D Lincoln penny. That's right, this little copper coin minted in Denver has been making headlines because of rumors that one example could be worth as much as $1.4 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, stay tuned because we're going to uncover the truth behind this coin's history, what makes some 1979 D pennies valuable, and whether one could really be worth a fortune. Let's jump in. Section 1. Background and history. The Lincoln cent has been around for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head penny and marked the first time a real person, and a president no less, appeared on U.S. currency. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and, originally, 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. From 1909 to 1958, these were known as wheat pennies. Then came the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which ran from 1959 until 2008. And that's where the 1979 D Lincoln penny comes in. By 1979, the U.S. Mint was still producing copper coins, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. That would change in just a few years when, in 1982, the composition switched to primarily zinc due to rising copper prices. But even though the 1979 penny may seem like just another modern coin, some versions, especially those minted in Denver with the D mint mark, have become hot topics for collectors. Section 2. 1979 D penny specifications. So what makes the 1979 D penny stand out? Here are the basics. Minted in Denver, indicated by the D mint mark under the date. Over 4.1 billion were made. Yes, that's billion with a B. Standard weight, about 3.11 grams. Composition, 95% copper, 5% zinc. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, obverse, and Frank Gasparo, reverse. With so many made, you might think there's nothing special about it. But here's where things get interesting. Section 3. Why some are valuable. Most 1979 D pennies are worth just 1 cent. Maybe 2 or 3 cents if you're counting the melt value of copper. But collectors aren't just looking for regular coins. They're hunting for rare varieties, mint errors, and high-grade examples that can skyrocket the value. Let's break down why some 1979 D pennies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Point 1. Mint errors. These are the real jackpot for collectors. Some 1979 D Lincoln pennies have rare minting errors like off-center strikes, double dies, especially doubled obverse, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and cuts. These kinds of errors are rare and typically fetch higher prices, especially in uncirculated condition. Point 2. Condition and grade. This is huge in the coin world. A coin graded MS 67 or higher, that's mint state 67, by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, can be worth hundreds or even thousands. There are examples of 1979 D pennies graded MS 67 red that have sold for over $1,000 at auction simply because of their pristine, untouched condition. So yes, even without an error, if your 1979 D penny looks like it just left the mint, it might be worth a second look. Section 4. The $1.4 million claim. Truth or hype? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. That $1.4 million price tag. You may have seen headlines or videos claiming that a 1979 D penny sold for $1.4 million. And let's be real, that's exactly the kind of thing that catches your attention. But here's the truth. As of now, there is no verified record of any 1979 D Lincoln penny ever selling for that much money. Not at auction, not through a private sale, not through PCGS or heritage auctions. The highest known auction prices for this coin are in the low thousands, and that's for coins in absolutely flawless condition or with rare errors. So where did the $1.4 million number come from? It likely started as a viral post or exaggerated clickbait. Some creators or articles love to throw around big numbers to grab attention, and unfortunately, that misinformation spreads fast. That's why it's so important to get your facts straight from trusted sources. Could a unique, one-of-a-kind mint error from 1979 ever sell for that kind of money in the future? Maybe, but it hasn't happened yet. Section 5. What to look for in your change. Now, before you toss your change jar back into the drawer, Here's what you should look for when checking your 1979 D pennies. 1. Check the date and mint mark. Make sure it's a 1979 with a D under the date. Point 2. Look closely for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's face. Point 3. Examine the edges for off-center strikes or misalignments. Point 4. Use a scale. It should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything significantly different could mean a rare planchet or composition error. Point 5. If it looks flawless, bright red, and untouched, consider having it professionally graded. And remember, coin collecting is as much about the thrill of the hunt as it is about the money. Conclusion. So, is your 1979 D penny worth $1.4 million? Probably not. But that doesn't mean it's worthless either. With the right condition, a rare error, or high grading, you could have something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your pocket. And more importantly, coins like this are a gateway into a fascinating hobby full of history, art, and discovery. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 D Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on the channel. Want a version with visual cue suggestions, voiceover timing, or even background music and scene changes? Let me know and I can help produce a full YouTube production script. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in U.S. numismatic history, the 1969 D Lincoln penny. You've probably seen the headlines, heard the rumors, or maybe even watched a viral video claiming that one of these pennies sold for $1.7 million. But is that true? Is there really a small copper coin out there from 1969 with a D mint mark that's worth a life-changing amount of money? Well, in this video, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at the real history of the 1969 D penny, what makes certain versions valuable, how to identify rare varieties, and most importantly, whether or not that million-dollar story is fact or fiction. So stick around. Because if you've got a jar of old change lying around, you might want to take a second look after this. Let's start with a little context. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent and was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse side of the coin featured 2 wheat ears. That's where the term wheat penny comes from. But starting in 1959, the reverse was updated to show the Lincoln Memorial, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design ran all the way through 2008. The 1969 D penny is not a wheat penny. It's actually part of the Lincoln Memorial series, but it's often grouped with wheat pennies in collector discussions because of its age, rarity potential, and similarity in composition. Now let's talk about the 1969 D penny itself. Here are some basic facts. Obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial metal composition, 95% copper, 5% zinc weight, about 3.11 grams. Mint mark. D stands for Denver Mint total mintage. Over 4 billion coins. Yes, you heard that right. More than 4 billion of these pennies were produced at the Denver Mint. So by volume alone, this coin is extremely common. That's why most circulated 1969 D pennies you find in pocket change are only worth 1 cent, but there's always an exception. So how can a penny that was minted billions of times suddenly be worth millions? There are 2 main factors that can make a 1969 D Lincoln penny worth serious money. 1. Mint errors. 2. High-grade condition. Let's start with mint errors. Mint errors. The big deal. One of the most famous Lincoln cent errors comes from 1969, but here's the twist. It's not the 1969 D penny that's worth millions. It's the 1969 S Lincoln penny, minted in San Francisco, that made headlines when a double die obverse error was discovered. In that coin, you can clearly see doubling in the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. That error coin is extremely rare, and when one example in pristine condition went up for sale, it fetched over $100,000, with rumors that a perfect specimen could go for even more. But here's the important part. No genuine double die obverse error has ever been confirmed on a 1969 D penny. Where does the $1.7 million claim come from? Let's clear this up once and for all. There is no verifiable auction record, no listing from PCGS or Heritage Auctions, and no documentation showing a 1969 D Lincoln penny ever selling for $1.7 million. The claim that a 1969 D penny sold for that much appears to be completely false, likely originating from clickbait websites or viral social media videos that either mixed up the 1969 S and 1969 D, or simply made up the number for views. Unfortunately, misinformation spreads quickly in the coin community. People get excited, they post it, and before you know it, everyone's checking their junk drawers hoping to strike it rich. That doesn't mean the 1969 D penny can't be valuable. It absolutely can, but not because of a $1 million sale. Let's talk about what actually gives this coin real-world value. Even without an error, your 1969 D penny might be worth more than a cent if it's in exceptionally good condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. A coin graded MS-60 or higher is in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear. If you have a 1969 D penny that looks like it just came out of the mint, and it's graded MS-66 or MS-67 red, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds of dollars. For example, a 1969 D penny graded MS-67 red by PCGS has sold for over $800 at auction. And remember, that's for a coin with no known errors, just a pristine, untouched piece of copper in perfect condition. So don't throw away that 1969 D penny just yet. If you want to check your 1969 D pennies for value, here's what to do. 1. Look for that D mint mark under the date. 2. Inspect the coin with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. 3. Look for any doubling in the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, just in case. 4. Check the overall condition, color, luster, and sharpness of the details. 5. Weigh the coin. It should be around 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it might be a wrong planchet error. 6. If you suspect you have something special, consider getting it professionally graded by PCGS or INGS. Even a small difference in grade or detail can mean a huge difference in value. So, is your 1969 D Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million? Probably not. But could it still be valuable? Absolutely. With the right condition, or a rare error, or even just being in the top 1% of surviving examples, your coin could be worth hundreds, maybe even thousands, of dollars to the right collector. The key is education. Know what to look for. Handle your coins carefully. And always double-check stories that seem too good to be true. Because in the coin world, the real treasures are the ones you can verify. That if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you don't miss out on future rare coin videos. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1969 D penny and want help figuring out its value. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you want this script adapted for Shorts, TikTok, or formatted for a visual storyboard with on-screen text and coin footage.